NatPat, right? So it basically translates a private IP address into public and the public into private, right?
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, at home we are getting private IP addresses, but while going out, this box is going to convert that into a public IP address. Okay,
Fine. Got it.
which of course the ISP has given us, assigned to us. Okay.
So basically, the ISP is giving us public IP. That is
Yes. When you give money,
right.
when you take some kind of a WAN connection, ISP will
Okay.
give you only a public IP address.
Okay.
Private is for us to use, right, in the LAN,
Mhm.
whether 10 dot or 172.16 dot or 192.168. So if you are the admin of your company, in your LAN, you can use any of it, depending on which one do you want, right? That means, in 250 up to 254 host, class C, 65,530 up to host, then class B, and more than 16 lakh host, you'll use class A, right? But even if I have few users, I can still go in for class B or class A. I may require only 50 addresses or 100, but choice is mine. I may use class C, I may use class B, I may use class A. Up to me, right? Why class B or class A? Today, boss says the requirement is only 25 or 50 people. Who knows after 2 years, 5 years, right? Our garage company, I'm in a startup.
Mhm.
We may have 100 users after a year or 6 months. We may employ 1,000 employees because maybe our startup is right succeeding like anything, isn't it?
Mhm.
So only yesterday or day before I read a 16-year-old daughter, sorry, a girl, basically Indian, but migrated to USA because her parents may have shifted a couple of years back. So she is $100 billion company or something like this, right? She's startup, 16-year-old child. She's running a hundred
Oh.
billion or whatever, 100 million or billion whatever dollar company, and she's got 15, 16 employees, right? And of course, she's in US now, but that has given her a platform. But anyway, you never know. Like a small child today has got 15 employees. Today, she or
Mhm.
he may have 1,500 employees, right? After a couple of years, who knows? Anyway, that's business. That's a startup, whatever.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Okay, good.
Fair enough.
So where were we? We were discussing IP addressing, right? Everybody, IP version 4 addressing. Yes, by now, everybody must have memorized. Yes or no? Aditya, याद हो गया? Memorized classes.
येस सर.
चलो बताओ फिर 1 2.
ठरलो सर. मध्ये मध्ये
हम्म.
1 2.
1 2.
126.
126.
हाँ.
आदित्य लास्ट टाइम. या इसके बाद मैं नहीं बता पाऊंगा. आई वोंट बी एबल टू टेल ऑल दिस थिंग, राइट? क्लास बी 120.
127 to
28.
128 to
2. यस. कौन सी?
191.
191. करेक्ट नीरज. आदित्य मेमोराइज इट. क्लास सी 192 टू. Yes, I hope Megha, Neeraj, and Kawaljeet, everybody knows this.
223.
Correct.
223.
Aditya, wonderful. 223. Class D, 224 to.
239.
Correct.
हाँ
Aditya.
सर.
And Class E, 242. Of course, we end at 255. Yes, this should be by heart, everybody. Right on your fingertips. Gota marlo, memorize it. Right. Okay, so let me open the PPTs. We were on. Does anybody remember where were we on the PPTs? We were on chapter 5
Chapter 5, ninth slide, I
and
guess.
slide number 9. Right? Correct. Thank you so much. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we were here. So now this says again help. So I told yesterday also, context sensitive help means question mark. So if you don't know what to do, just put a question mark wherever, right? Wherever you have doubt, just put a question mark, right? Okay. So it provides a list of commands and the arguments associated with a specific command. So if you put a question mark from A to Z, right, it will display a lot of commands. and what every command does will be also displayed. So that is help. And again, I told you console error messages identifies problems with any switch commands or router commands, whatever that are incorrectly entered, so that you can alter or correct them. Like enable NBALE, right? So sorry. So it will show me a caret marker here, right? Because it is not ENBLE, it is actually ENABLE. So it is telling me, pinpointing me, this is where I have committed a mistake. Look here, right? This is also error, right? It's also help. And third is this command history buffer. So I told you, right? By default, it will store 10 commands in 10 lines, right? The last 10 commands allows recall of long or complex commands or entries or for re-entry, review, or so you can give control up arrow, or control P, control P, right? Keep on pressing that. Or you want to come down, down arrow, down arrow, down arrow, or control N. Next. P for previous, N for next, right? So this is also help. And this is applicable on both router and switch, right? Both devices. Now this is the privilege mode. Somebody has given a hostname as work group underscore switch A, work group switch A, right? So normally I give as switch 1 or router 1, router 2, whatever. So privilege mode, configure terminal, and then we know we come at the global mode, and from there we can go to any of the interfaces. It is switch, so maybe interface fast Ethernet 0 oblique 1, right? Whatever, up to 0 oblique 24 or 48, whatever. Then we come at the interface mode, right? So we all know this. And if you want to give the host name, you can give from the global mode host name whatever you want, monkey, donkey, switch 1, switch 2, that will become the host name of the switch or router, this case switch. And how do you give an IP address to the whole box? It may have 12 ports or 24 ports or 48 ports, whatever. But to the whole box, we just give one IP address. That to the management port, interface VLAN 1, right? We come under interface mode. And of course, we have to then give some IP address, whatever you want to. And of course, we have to say no shut also. No shut or no shutdown is one command. I just give no shut. That's it, right? Because this is the management interface. IP address is normally given to this one only, and all the management traffic passes through this interface VLAN one only, right? So this is the way we give an IP address to a switch. And IP default gateway, if you want to give a default gateway, we go on the global mode and specify the protocol IP default dash gateway. And in our case, R1, this connected to ISP. Normally, I have been taking 10.1.1.1. So you'll give here 10.1.1.1. Maybe we have given this guy 10.1.1.2, and maybe we give this guy 10.1.1.3, right? Something like this. And of course, the subnet mask has to be same everywhere. So this guy's default gateway, go on the global mode and type IP default dash gateway, and you can give this. This is given only on the switch, not on the router, right? For a layer 2 device. Show run, we know this. On the router, we have given this. So similarly, we can give it on the switch. Show start also we have given on the router, startup config. I just give run. Actually, the whole command is running dash config. I just give show start. Full command is startup dash config. This will tell you all the commands that's stored in its RAM, right? Running config. That is current active configurations. Startup config is NVRAM. So that is also known as saved configurations. Okay. So if you have not saved in the NVRAM and if power goes away, and if you had given a lot of commands, all of them will be wiped out, gone. But if you had saved in the NVRAM, do WR or copy run start, then even if the power goes away, let's say we don't have a battery backup and it's not a company's production network. I have a private lab. I'm doing it there. So when the power comes up, I will still get all my commands because they were saved in the NVRAM, right? Show version. So this will tell you what iOS version you are using, right? And many other things like what is the hardware platform of your switch. Older ones were 1900 series switch. Then we had 2950 series switches, all layer 2. Then we had 2960 series of switches coming up. Then we had 3550 series layer 3 switch, router come switch. Then we had 3560 and then 3750, and God knows so many in the past 20 years have kept new, right? Hardware platforms have been coming up. Of course, all the 3500s were layer 3. Later on, I think they came out with some model of 2960 that was again a layer 3, right? Okay. So it will tell you many things like what is the iOS version, what is the hardware platform, right? A software version means iOS version. So when I started doing this 2001, 2002, I remember the router iOS versions. They are 10.3, then 11.2. In a couple of years, right, 2 or 3 years, they used to come out with new versions of the iOS, obviously with new features. Then came 12.0, then came 12.1 and 12.2 and 12.3 and 12.4 and 12.5 and 12.4 and then 15 point, not 12.5, but I think 15.0 and then whatnot, 15s and then 16 and whatnot, right? So in the past 20 years, I have seen so many iOS coming up. Okay, so apart from that, where that iOS file has been downloaded, normally it's from the flash, right? And many more things. So we'll have a look at
Sir,
this. Yeah.
iOS are operating system versions like 10.3, 11.
Yeah, this is the iOS
These are iOS
versions.
version.
Yeah, this
iOS
is the
version.
iOS
Okay.
versions, right? Operating system
Okay.
versions. Okay.
Okay.
Show interface is also one command you can give on router switch both. Show interface VLAN one. This you can give on your switch to find out what is the IP address of my switch, what's the subnet mask, and what's my default gateway, right? So, uh, show version, privilege mode, right? We don't have to type here do, but if you go on the global mode or config mode, we'll have to say do show version. VR also works, right? Or from any other mode. But from the privilege mode, it is directly show. We don't have to type here do, right? So this is telling you that it's a 2960 series switch, right? That's the hardware platform. iOS version is 12.1, blah, 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 right? And everything is not important. They have not shown here many things. But show interfaces if fast frequency is oblique 1. So it is enabled. It is 100 base T. So fast Ethernet, right? Twisted pair, baseband. This is the MAC address. Every port has a MAC address. The switch has a base MAC address, and derived from that, every port also has got a MAC address. Port number one's MAC address will be smaller than port number two. In other words, port number two's MAC address will be higher than port number one. Port number three's MAC address will be higher than port number two. Port number four's MAC address will be higher than port number three, so on and so forth. So this is a MAC address. Okay. And maximum transmissible units, 1500 bytes by default. Data size can flow through this port. These ports are is 1500 bytes. Bandwidth in terms of kilobits per second. So we know this is a fast Ethernet. That means it supports a speed of 100 Mbps, right? 802.1d spanning tree protocol. This we'll be talking about later on in when we get into switching into detail. This STP is a loop avoidance mechanism, right? Which is built in and it is on Cisco, non-Cisco. It's an open standard. So all switches, right? All vendors. And as per spanning tree protocol, this port, first port, right? This port is in the forwarding state or listening state or learning state or right blocking state. So there are four states: listening, learning, forwarding, right, and blocking. or there could be three states. Uh, Forwarding. Older ones was listening, learning, and disabled, right? So now it can be forwarding, learning, and disabled. Don't worry. So we'll be taking up all these things later on. So as per STP, this is currently in the forwarding state. That means data can be sent and received from this first port. Okay. And unknown unicast flooding is enabled. Multicast is also flooded. We know multicast is flooded, broadcast is flooded, unknown unicasts are flooded. Yes or no, everybody? The basic functions of any switch or Cisco switch. And this one, duplex setting, this is in half duplex. Okay, and rest they have not shown, but we can have a look on our packet tracer. So what all commands are they talking about? Show version, show run, show interfaces, show interface VLAN 1, something like this, right? So let's have a look at those commands. So let's open the packet tracer. Okay, so let me open some topology, already existing one. We'll take something. So we have router as well as switches, right? So this is router. So this is already configured, right? So we have show run command, running config, but I just type run. Right. So this is going to tell us whatever commands are stored in the RAM. Some are stored, have come from the default, right? From the factory default only, right? These are factory default. So show run, building configuration dot dot dot. Okay, current configuration, blah blah blah. This is the IS version, right? 15.4 of this is router. And some commands have come from the factory. So we have discussed this. They are all disabled, right? Password encryption is disabled, and timestamps on the debug output is also disabled, and timestamps on the log, syslog is also disabled. Hostname was originally router. We have changed it to R1, right? And all these commands, Cisco Express forwarding. For version 4, it is enabled. Version 6, it is disabled. Anyway, they are coming from the factory only. We don't have to do anything much in our course. Spanning tree mode, PVST. Now, this actually is a router. It's not even a switch, right? But because we have some Ethernet switch ports here, it's treating these two, three ports as a small switch, right? Sort of thing. Okay, so therefore, spanning tree. Anyway, where are we? Here. So PVST will look at explore this later on. Per VLAN spanning tree. This is a loop avoidance mechanism. We'll talk of this later on. And we know this port. We have enabled it by giving no shut command, and we have given some IP address and subnet. When I say we have given some IP address, it also includes a subnet mask, right? We know subnet mask begins with 255. It tells how many bits are in the host portion and how many bits are in the network portion, correct? We know this is a class A. So first 8 bits go in the network portion, and then these 16 bits will go in the subnet portion. 2 raised to power 16, 65,536. We can have 65,536 subnets. In every subnet, we'll have 2 raised to power 8 minus 2. 256 minus 2. 254 usable host addresses. Is this clear to everybody? It requires a lot of practice. Neeraj, Megha, Kavaljit, Aditya. Yes or no? Class A. 8 bits gone in the network portion. 16 bits gone in the subnet portion. 2 raised to power 16. 65,536 subnets. 8 bits gone in the host portion. 2 raised to power 8 minus 2. 254 usable host addresses per subnet. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Is this understood by everybody? Neeraj, Megha, without
Yes,
touching the
sir.
pen,
Yes,
pencil,
sir.
right? Aditya. Great. So we have given some other network's IP address right here on the second Ethernet port. And third Ethernet port, we don't want to use it. And serial port, we have taken it, but we don't want to use it, right? I mean, maybe I'm using 50 serial port there. Okay, so I am perhaps using this serial port also, right? Yeah. Of course, serial won't come in your exam and real life, but because there's a software issue. It says that it has got three Ethernet gigabit ports, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2. But this one is only like dummy. Actually, if we try to connect a cable, it doesn't allow us to connect a cable. So I'm compelled to take another serial port and connect, right? I hope everybody knows this now. Of course, this nobody in the world uses it, and in your exam and courses, it's not there. But for understanding, it's okay. Second serial port, we are not using it. And this is interface VLAN one, so I didn't touch it, right? It's disabled and there's no IP address. And a few commands are coming from the factory only. All of them are not related to our course. These may come in some other course, right? In the advanced level, right? When we get into net flow in the next courses, then we'll talk of this command, not here. And IP classless is coming from the factory only by default, right? And this is line console 0 and auxiliary and VTY04. You know all these things, right? So this is our show run. Show start. We must have said do WR or copy run start. Therefore, this is a Xerox copy of what it is there, right? Same things, right? If you change something now, supposing if I change this one to 200 dot blah blah blah, it will be only changed in the RAM, not in the NVRAM. Unless until you don't say do WR or WR or copy run start, in the RAM only it will become 200 dot, but NVRAM it will still remain 10 dot. Okay. So you want to save there also. Then so show run, show start, show version, VR tab. So show version. So this is a Cisco iOS XE software. Uh, and so this is a Cisco iOS Integrated Services Router, ISR software, Linux based. Okay. And the version is 15.5, blah, blah, blah. Sub release, something like this. Okay. So basically 15.5 version of the iOS with some sub release. Okay. All these things are not relevant to us, not important, right? So uptime, it also tells you what does show version tell you? One is uh, what is the iOS version, right? Secondly, uptime of the device. Since how long this device is up? 8 years or 8 months or 8 minutes, whatever, right? And when this router had booted up, it had got the flash iOS from the flash, right? And this is the name of the file, right? Dot bin. Extension of iOS file is dot bin. It's a binary file, right? So this is a ISR 4300 series router. Got it? So now it displays you. It's telling you the iOS version. It is telling you the hardware platform, the uptime of the device, right? And RAM memory and NVRAM memory and flash memory and many other things. So other things are not very important here. And show version, right? So there are different versions of iOS. We are using this one IP base, right? Normally this comes free with the router, and this is what is also loaded. But if you want to use security version another, which this IP base won't support lot of advanced features like maybe VPNs or encryptions or security, right? So this one won't support. It is a basic iOS. So it will help you do routing and all that forward packets, but maybe very advanced features of security it won't support. So what Cisco does is it has got inbuilt another iOS version, right, of for security. This is known as security K9. So you can use this for 2 months free of cost, right? If you are a big company and you are having a lot of VPNs going on and encryptions going on, and right, lot of firewall features you want to enable. So you can try all your features free of cost for 2 months. If you are happy using it, trying all the features in your network, and you say yes, right? I think this is very beneficial and the security of my network has been very, very enhanced. It has been enhanced. So we would like to buy it. Then you can email to Cisco and tell, okay, I would like to buy this one, right? Similarly, right, you can buy unified communication. If you use a call center and it supports a lot of voice and video stuff, then you can try and use this one for 2 months. If you're happy, email Cisco and they will ask you to pay. They'll check with the vendor. Okay, this series of router, you will have to supply this information to Cisco. It will check what series of router you bought it from which vendor, and they'll check from the vendor. Okay, so this company has bought this IS or this series router or switch whatever. Then after confirmation, Cisco will ask you to send you the money along with the serial number of the router and all those things that he had sent earlier. And then it will email you. It will ask you to download it from Cisco side, the iOS version, right? So that's the way nowadays you can do it. So there are different versions, but so security K9 stands for uh, the security version of the iOS, which is different, right? But basically we are using this one. So you can buy any of them. Plus, what more? So it's telling you what series of the router this is. And this is the RAM memory, right? RAM memory. This is RAM. This is DRAM, dynamic RAM. Dynamic RAM means uh, on the outgoing interface or on the interfaces, right? If there's a congestion, it will store some packets, right, for milliseconds or microseconds. And as soon as the bandwidth is available, it will forward it. Otherwise, if the bandwidth is not available, it will drop a few packets on the interface only, right? But it can hold a few packets on the interface, right? If there's a congestion. So this is DRAM. Both together is known as a RAM memory. It's in kilobytes, right? RAM is always in kilobytes. Okay. And then it's telling you how many physical ports we have got. We got three physical Ethernet ports. We know this, and two serial interfaces that we had taken up later on. And also memory for NVRAM and flash, right? So many kilobytes, whatever. That's it. Got some idea. And in the end, it is telling you what is the config register's value. It is 0x2102. 0x before any number. We'll talk of this later on, right? 0x before any number means this is a hexadecimal number. So remember this. What is the default value of the config register of any Cisco router? So your answer should be 0x2102. If you look at the switch, it will be 0xF, F for father. That's the configuration default value of the switch. And we'll talk of this later on, right? But we have some idea about show version. So it tells you what iOS version you are using, right? What is the hardware platform of your device, right? What is the uptime of the device? Since how long it is up, and what is the iOS full name of the file and from where it has downloaded this, right? When it got it started, when it had booted up, and many more things like what number of what ports you have, physical ports, whatever, and then memory, right? NVRAM and flash and whatnot, right? RAM. Okay. So what more commands did they say? Show IP interface brief, right? We know this command. Okay, so now here we get some idea about physical and logical ports all, and what IP addresses we have given, or which port doesn't have IP address, and status and protocol, right? So they should be up and up. This is physical layer status, and protocol means data link layer. If it is administratively down and down, I just call it AD&D. Administratively down, AD and D. Status and protocol. Physical layer and data link layer. So this is disabled from the factory only. You got to go under the port and give a command no shut. After that, it may become up and down. It may become up and down, or it may remain down and down, or right, something like this. So unless and until it is up and up, right? The other all the other permutation combinations are useless. Up and down is no good. Down and down is no good, and administrative down and down is also no good. Communication cannot happen, right? Reason for up and down or down and down can be reason for up and down or down and down can be. So only up and up is good, right? Up and down, no good. Down and down, no good. Administratively down and down, of course, no good. But this is disabled from the factory. If you give a no shut command, maybe it will be up and up, or up and down, or down and down, something like this, right? So the reasons can be I have not connected any cable here, right? If I just say no shut, it may become down and down or up and down. That you have to check in the book, right? Either of the two. Or secondly, I am connected to some other device, but this is not powered up. It is still not powered up, right? So though I have said no shut here, it may become down and down or up and down, either of the two, right? Got it? In the olden days, when we had serial connections, serial ports, I told you the default was HDLC. And if it was something else here, both had to be HDLC or frame relay, right? Either of the two, or PPP. We had three choices: HDLC or frame relay or PPP. So both ends must be same, right? Either HDLC, HDLC. But if you have one somewhere else and something else, so again it will be up and up or up and down. Got it? Or then this is powered up, but this port is disabled, right? Something like this. So still it won't be up and up. So a lot of reasons for up and down and down and down. Okay. Where are we? What more commands did we see here? Show version we have seen on a router. Show run we have seen. Show interfaces. Show interface VLAN one. Right. These are for, this one is particularly for the switch only. So we may go on the switch again, right? And nothing else. Okay. Okay. Similarly, you can go on the switch also and try and give all these commands. So enable, show, run. So like a router, this also has got lot of commands, right? Some coming from the factory. See, we haven't given the name also. So default name is switch only, right? And some of these are typically the switch commands, right? It has got so many ports, right? Up to 24, I guess, pass thread ports, and 2 gigabit thread ports, and one logical port, the management, right? VLAN. Where is it? Interface VLAN one, right? No shut and sorry, no IP address and shutdown. And default gateway, it seems I have just given it. I don't know when, what, where, but maybe sometime. And still, see, 0 to 15, 16 ports. Of course, like it's patch up. But when we give the command, we'll say on the switch line with device 0 to 0 space 15. That means all the 16 ports together, right? But in the display, it's displaying the output in a as a patch, right? That's okay. So this is the switch, and show interface VLAN 1. So now, see, look at this. This is basically disabled. See that? And there is no IP address. So when we give this command, configure terminal and interface VLAN 1 and no shut, and then some IP address. Let's say 10.1.1.2 and sorry, 255 dot blah blah blah. Now we can check. Do show interface VLAN 1. So now this is up and up, right? Why this is up and up? And we have some IP address given now. And this is the MAC address of this logical port. Okay. So now we have given it here. But let me go and remove the cable here, right? I'm going to disconnect the cable here. See? Gone now. Okay. Escape. So now let's check. Show interface VLAN 1. So first port, physical port has gone down. Physical layer gone down. Line protocol means data link also has gone down. So now if you check, do show IP interface brief. First port is down and down. See that? Whereas earlier when the cable was connected, it would have been up and up. It should have been up and up, right? We didn't give the command. Got it down and down. So I don't have a cable connected. So now if we again take a cable and connect it, auto cable, so it will take, okay, gigabit 0 and fast 0/1, right? So it will take 30 seconds for this amber orange to become green. And why it takes that, that I will explain when we get into switching details. Okay. So similarly, show interface VLAN 1 we have given. So first port coming up and line protocol also coming up, right? So we have up and up now again. Switch. So interface VLAN 1, this is up and up, logical port. We have an IP address. And MTU is again by default 1500 bytes. Bandwidth is, we know, is whatever it is in kilobits, right? So it's a 100 Mbps port. Now this is a logical port, right? So whatever. And still, delay in USEC. Okay, bandwidth, delay, reliability, load, right? And MTU. Bandwidth, delay, load, reliability, MTU. Some parameters, already some values have come from the factory, right? Transmitting load, receiving load is just 1/255. Reliability is 255/255, right? Delays, blah, 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 in USEC, microseconds. Okay. And encapsulation, Cisco calls it as ARPA and many other things, but we don't need to do anything about it. Last input was at, I don't know, this time ago. Output never. Last input show, blah, blah, blah. Input queue, blah, blah, blah. Output queue. Queuing strategy FIFO, first in, first out. Whichever packet comes in on the port will be sent out first. 5-minute input rate, 5-minute output rate, right? So nothing here. And so many packets have been received on interface VLAN 1. Likewise, there were these many bytes, right? So many packets have been received. Sorry, where is it? Received inputs, and there were these many bytes, and received 0 broadcasts, 0 runs, giants, and throttles. What is this runs, giants? Forget throttles. That was not mentioned in the book. Runs and giants. Runs, giants. Okay. Where's my runs? Giants. Supposing this is a switch, whatever, and I go back 10, 15, 20 years ago and connect a stupid hub here, donkey hub, brainless guy, and connect some pieces here. If these two devices send at the same time, collision will happen. When it comes here, right, the packet or the frame, whatever, datagram, whatever you call it will always be less than 46 bytes after collision, right? So nowadays, of course, we never have a hub connected, right, in the network only. But this is old just to demonstrate why. What is runs? So anything that's coming up which is less than 46 bytes will be dropped. That thing is known as runt, right? So number of runs. Understood runs, guys? Yeah. Runs का मतलब समझ में आया? This is runs.
So can you please repeat what is runs? Could not understand.
Sorry.
So can you please repeat about these runs?
Yeah. So runs means if a collided frame has come up to the port after collision, right? And now collision can never happen now on the switch because if you have directly connected end users, collision will never happen. So I have gone back 20, 30 years ago, right? I took a hub, got it? Because only when you connect devices on the hub and if they at all transmit at the same time, only then collision will happen, isn't it?
Exactly.
And if this reaches the port, that broken packet, it will always be less than how many? 46 bytes. Now this
46
thing
bytes.
is known as what? Runt.
Okay.
Today this won't happen, but you get the point. Runs.
Got it.
So, and what was the other thing? Runs and
Giant.
giants, right? Giants.
Mhm.
So what is the MTU by default of every port? How much did we see? MTU, maximum transmissible units was how
1500,
much? Correct.
1500
1500 what? Bits or bytes?
bytes.
Bytes. Right. So supposing if I go on this switch, let's say this is the first port, F0/1, correct? This one here. So if I go under that port, enable privilege mode, configure terminal, global mode, and I say interface F0/1. So I'll come under the interface mode, right? Now if I give a question mark or if I type here MTU, if not MTU, then IP MTU, either of the two commands, right? And then question mark. So supposing if I make it 900, right? Default was how much? This much. Now
1500.
what have I made it? Just an example, right?
900.
We are not going to do
Right.
it, but just telling you. Supposing 900. And now if the data that comes, right, frame, whatever datagram, if it is more than 900 bytes, right, get it? Then this giants counter will increase. You get it?
Right.
That's it. So we don't have to do anything, right? Just read your books. We don't have to do anything for everything, right? So understood this runs and
Right.
giants. Okay. So likewise, we should be having a look at these errors, CRC, cyclic redundancy check. I'll explain that later on, right? Some sort of errors here. Got it? So if this counter, if these error outputs are increasing, right? If these counters are increasing, getting it? If these counter error counters are increasing, mostly it will be a hardware issue. Got it? Mostly it will be a hardware issue. Or
Right.
from our course point
Yeah.
of view, it will be either a duplex mismatch or a speed mismatch. Either it will be a speed mismatch or a
And I remember, sir, I read about it. Was related with hardware and cables for
Neeraj. Yeah.
for-
So you check your cables, connectors, pinouts, right? Something like this. Or the port or switch port,
right.
whatever. LAN card, isn't it?
Right.
So mostly it will be a hardware issue. Otherwise, from our course point of view, did I tell you this speed and duplex mismatch? I have explained this. Yes or no? I have explained this. Have I? Speed.
I don't remember, so sir.
What about others? Neeraj, sorry, Aditya, Kawaljit, Mega. Have we talked about speed mismatch, duplex mismatch? Yes or no?
Sir, I don't remember.
Aditya, you don't remember. Good.
Me,
Kawaljit?
I don't remember, sir.
No? You don't remember, right? Mega? Neeraj.
Same here. I don't remember.
Okay. Did I tell you if I take a old PC like me? When did I tell this? From the museum. कल ही बात किया. We talked yesterday.
Sir, like if there are two devices, but the speed of both the devices are not matching.
Correct. So look, this is an old PC, right? Kept in the museum today. Its LAN card supported only 10 Mbps. When did we talk this? Yesterday? And it supported only half duplex. When did we talk this? Yesterday? And if I go on this switch and say enable, so what happens is the moment you connect this desktop or whatever old, because it's a old desktop, right? This switch is going to ask the PC, this PC one, hello, what duplex do you support, half or full? This guy says, man, I'm a very old PC. I support my LAN card supports only and only half. So now this PC can only send or receive one thing at a time. But this is a new laptop connected. This supports full duplex. So now it can send as well as receive simultaneously. But here, only one thing at a time. Secondly, this LAN card new laptop will support, forget 10 Mbps, 100 Mbps, it will support only 1000, right? Mbps also. That means gigabit. If this port is also gigabit, both will, right? It will ask this guy, hello, what's your maximum speed? It says 1000. So I also support 1000, right? So now we can send and receive 1000. Or if I am 100 Mbps and if you're 1000, but then obviously, right? We both can send and receive maximum at only 100 Mbps, right? Okay, and duplex, you full, so I also full. You have, I also have. So duplex and speed are in auto mode. But if I go on this port and if I say user mode enable, privilege mode, configure terminal, global mode, interface, blah blah, let's say. And if I now say speed, this poor guy, old laptop, desktop, supports only 10 Mbps. But if I go here on the port and say speed 100 or 1000, you get it? Now what's going to happen? This is known as a speed mismatch. Communication will happen, but lot of error counters will keep on going. You get it? It will be slow. This end user will cry, "Hey admin, where are you, idiot? What's happening?" Till yesterday, I'm just joking here. Till yesterday, I could open my YouTube or Facebook in 5 minutes, 5 seconds, or 15 seconds. Today it's taking me a minute, or 2 minutes, or half a minute. What's it? You get my point? Slow. Collision counters will keep going. Secondly, duplex mismatch, right? This guy, these ports are in auto mode. So auto speed, auto duplex. You support full duplex, I also support full duplex. If you support half duplex, I will also support half duplex. But if this guy is supporting half duplex, and if I go under this port, this old PC is supporting what? Only half duplex. But if I go under this port and give a command, duplex full, what is this? Now this is a duplex mismatch also. Understood? As a result of which, these your error counters will keep on going up. Understand, guys? Everybody?
Yeah. So it is basically inconsistency, or is it a mismatch? I think it's
It's a mismatch.
a
Why did
mismatch.
you deliberately give that command? I am giving the command deliberately, na?
Right, right.
Right. So if I know it's an old laptop, it's supporting only half duplex, why am I going giving a command full duplex there? Or if I know my old laptop is supporting only 10 Mbps, why am I deliberately giving 100 or 1000 Mbps? If I don't give, even if my switch port was 1000 Mbps, it would have automatically come down to 10 Mbps automatically. Talking with the old PC, okay, you old guy, only 10 Mbps. Okay, so I'll come down to 10. But I deliberately go there and give a command speed 1000 or speed 100. Now this is a speed mismatch, right? So because of this, all these counters will keep going up, right? You get it?
Got
So
it.
check, there should not be any speed or duplex mismatch. And mostly I told you, so leave all these ports on default auto mode, right? They'll automatically adjust with the other guy. Got it? You do, if you want to change, you have to change on both the ends. Remember these troubleshooting tips, right? Where are we? So, all done. Any command
So
left?
the thing is to keep it in a auto mode, right?
Sorry.
So the best measure as a advice would be to keep it into auto
Leave it on default. It is automatically
default.
default, right? It is
Default
automatically
is auto.
default is
Default
auto.
is auto.
Default is auto. Okay.
So even in that case, if it is if there is a PC that is an old one, so even in that case, the collisions will happen because it is, let's say, half like, or maybe speed issue is there, speed mismatch. Then there will again be speed issues with that
Mhm.
PC or not.
So look at this. Show interface. I am on the router, right? Some port. Okay. So
So you got my question, right?
no,
I'm
I didn't. One
trying to.
second. Just give me one sec.
Okay.
I'm looking at speed or duplex. Okay. So I don't see. Okay, see. Full duplex. Huh? Link type is auto. Media type is auto select. Okay. And do you see any speed here? Of course, we know this is a gigabit, so the speed is 1000 Mbps, correct? But, but, one
I
sec.
think bandwidth must be the speed, right? PW.
Yeah, bandwidth is a width. Yeah, you can say that. One sec. It is, but I'm trying to show you how we give the command. So I will go under interface gigabit 000. And now look, see, speed, right? If you don't type S, so from A to Z is going to show you all the commands, right? So now where speed is here. So what I did is instead of going through all of them, I just typed S. So from S, there are a lot of commands. Service policy is one, which is out of syllabus. Shutdown is another. This you know if you want to shut down this port. Speed is here and standby is again. We'll talk of this later on. Speed, right? So speed.
Right.
Look, auto is the default, right?
Mhm.
You can change it to 10 Mbps or 100 Mbps or it's already on 1000 Mbps, right? But auto means depending on the device opposite connected on this port, right? The connected devices from this port, isn't it? From which port? This port, whatever port. Now to your question, what is it?
My question is like, even if it is in auto mode,
Hmm.
collisions will happen because if it is an old PC, let's say.
No, if you don't
No,
fiddle with the speed and duplex, then collision will not happen.
it will not happen.
But the only thing is,
Okay.
the PC can only send or only receive one thing at a time. It cannot do both.
Right.
Got it? है ना?
Okay.
Is it clear?
My thought is like, maybe I'm wrong, but I was wondering like, if it is, let's say, half duplex or the speed is slow,
Hmm.
then there will be some collisions or some.
No, collision will only be, okay, this is a switch. You're telling me this is an old PC with half duplex, right?
Right, right. And with
Now
slow
this was
speed.
in auto mode.
Right.
So now this is going to check, okay, what are you half duplex? So this will also by default come in which mode? Half
Half
duplex,
duplex.
right? So now this guy can only send or only receive one thing at a time. But if these both are is a new laptop, right? And this is full duplex.
Mhm.
So here collision obviously will not happen because but now they can this PC can simultaneously send as well as receive. Here it can
Mhm.
only send or
Or
receive
receive.
one thing at a time, isn't it?
Right,
But no question of
right.
collision.
No question.
Collision will only
Okay.
happen when this is half duplex and you go there and say deliberately full duplex. Now
Okay.
collisions can happen,
Then will
right?
be a problem. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I understand. I was
Okay.
just, thinking like, if it is, even if it is auto and the port and the device is half duplex, even in that case, collisions will happen, but it will not be so high, maybe.
I think half duplex means either it will send or receive. So no question of collision,
Okay. Okay, fine.
right?
Agree.
Either it is only receiving
Okay.
or it
Mm-hmm.
is only sending,
Fine.
isn't it? तो फिर collision कहाँ से होगा? या तो भाई साहब आप आ जाओ पतली गली है. So narrow lane. Either you come
Like, the thing is, I was
or
just
I go.
thinking from the standpoint, like the another PC, let's
Uh,
say one PC is at full duplex, another PC is, let's say, half.
uh.
Now the one PC with the full duplex is sending the packet to half duplex.
Uh,
Then will there not be a collision?
like this.
Yeah, like this. Even if it is auto both side.
So, so what this switch port will do is, if this guy is also sending and it's also about to receive, this port will hold one traffic. You get it? It will
Mm-hmm.
stop one traffic and allow only one traffic to go. Assuming
Mm-hmm.
this is a policeman, he is holding this traffic. It is not going to allow. It is received it, but not allowing it to go ahead. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
And it is forwarding
Got
only
it.
this one. Or it is holding this one and only allowing this traffic to come in. One thing at a time. Got it?
Right.
But
Right.
here it will send as well as receive. ठीक है?
ठीक है. ठीक है.
Okay, good. Thank you. So read the books carefully. Where are we? So now, okay, what all commands have we covered? Show interfaces, show version, show running config, show interfaces, or show interface, whatever. Show interface 11. Yeah, more or less. Getting some idea about. We finished this chapter also, right? So they're all basics, right? The startup of a switch requires that you verify the physical installation Power up the switch and view the Cisco iOS software output on the console. The switches have several status LEDs that are generally lit in green when the switch is functioning normally, but they turn amber, which means orange, when there is a malfunction. The catalyst post power on self test means hardware check is executed only when the switch is powered up, right? And because normally when you power up the switch in the company for 8 years, you won't again turn it off, right? It's day and night, 365 days, 24 by 7 on only. The post uses the switch port LEDs to indicate the test progress and status during initial startup. If post-test failures are detected, they are reported to you on the console, which is not going to happen in our course unless until we have some hardware issue. If post completes successfully, you can then continue configuring your switch. When you start your switch, normally you begin in the user mode. To change modes, you must enter enable secret, that password, to get to the privilege mode, right? Next mode. The switch, Catalyst switch, uses a Square software with several command line input help facilities like question mark, context sensitive help, or correct marker, enable, whatever, or up arrow, down arrow, right? Control P, Control N. All that is help. The Catalyst Switch iOS software has the global communication mode and the interface. Okay, we know this. We have user mode, village mode, global mode, interface mode, whatever. After logging into a switch, Catalyst switch, you can verify the switch initial startup status using all the switch status commands like show version, show run, show interfaces, blah, blah. We are done with which chapter? Fifth, we are done with, correct? So we have given the commands now, show interfaces, show interfaces. Maybe if you just say show interfaces, it will keep on giving you details about all the 24, 26 ports, right? But if you say F0 it will give you details only about the first port, right? So we have seen this practically, correct? Like if you just say show interfaces, up arrow, so it's giving you detail about the first port, right? Look at this more. So I'm going to press space bar. So where is it? It began here, first port, and now the second port. So similar, right? Output, but for all the ports, it will keep on telling you. Okay. It's down and down. Why is it down and down? Because there's no cable connected only, right? Third port, fourth port, and so on and so forth, right? Okay. So I hope we have some idea about now the outputs of the router and switch. Where's the next PPT? Man, we are done with fifth. Let's move on to sixth one quickly. Oh man, delete. I don't say it will come up again next time. Okay, starting a router similar to a switch. Now, upon completing this lesson, we'll be able to start a router. We have started so many times, right? Every day we are doing it. And recognize the normal boot sequence. Use the command line interface, CLI, right? 11911 command to interact with the Cisco iOS software given an operational router. So we are configuring our router and use the online help facilities, question mark, caret, all those things, right? Up arrow, down arrow. Associated with CLI given an operational router, okay? Initial startup of the router. System startup routines initiate router software. What are the startup routines? One, two, three. One, two, three. First, hardware check, which is power on self test, known as post. Second, it requires iOS. So, which is in the flash, and it picks up the file from the iOS and loads it in the RAM automatically, right? By default. And then third, it looks for the user defined configurations. If at all you had saved them into NVRAM, that will pick up all the commands and bring it in the RAM. And now your router is booted up and it will tell you R1 console 0 now available. blah, 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 right? Press enter or return, whatever, to get started. And we press enter, and then maybe it will ask you for a password, console password. If I am connecting to console, then we'll give CCNA, and then we come to router one or switch one, right? And after this also, it will again ask for enable secret password. So we'll give that and then come to privilege mode, okay? So before you start the router, verify the power cabling and console connection. Push the power to on. This is only on the router, right? We don't have this on off button on the switch, right? And then observe the text that appears on the console like we are observing on our packet tracer, right? So this is the initial boot up output of the router. Dash, 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 system configuration dialog. This means it's in the setup mode. That means it's on factory default. That means nothing in the NVRAM, right? So then you know this. It will give you some instructions. It says, boss, can we continue with the configuration dialog? Yes or no. And then you got to type here, yes or no. Normally we say no here and directly come to the user mode, right? And now, because we have said yes, there's a demo of the setup. At any point, it's giving some instructions. You may enter question mark for help. We have done all these things, right? Seen all these things. Use Control C to abort configuration dialog at any prompt. Default settings are in the square brackets. Aage aage dekho, keep on looking ahead, right? This was your setup mode. If this is the kind of output, that means it's in a setup mode. But if your output is like this, R1, console 0 is now available, press return to get started. That means it is already configured, right? It's already configured. So then user mode, right? Whatever name you had given. Okay. So this is unconfigured and this is configured output. Okay. First initial output. If you deliberately want to get into setup mode, we can type here setup mode, setup, and then come here. I have shown you all these things, right? Basic management setup, yes or no. So we have seen this. Would you first like to see the current interface summary, yes or no? So this is the old one. So these were used for ISDN connections, right? So now we don't require this. So all these things. So we have now 3 gigabit and 1 VLAN. This is also gone, right? The other interfaces found during startup. All of them are disabled, right? Okay, method. These are all the factory default output. Now we are in the setup mode. So enter the host name. So we want to type here R1 or work group switch, whatever how to say. And this is enable secret, CCNA, and enable password has to be different, monkey donkey, whatever. And telnet password, San Jose, SNMP, yes or no, right? They kind of, we have seen all these things. And some protocols, nowadays we are only focused with IP. So yes to IP and no to everybody else, right? Instead of this, you'll have OSPF. Instead of this, you may have EIGRP, whatever, RIP. So whatever you want to configure, maybe we can say no right now, and after a minute or two, we'll come go finish setup mode and then start configuring our OSPF or RIP or whatever, EIGRP, right? And I don't want any other protocol. So this is your setup, the old switch, right? So this is all gone because we had BRI ports there, basic rate interface. This from here to the ISP telephone company. This was the ISDN connection going to telco, right? So this is no more there, BRI ports. So this switch type was the switch type that the ISP used, right? So we had to tell our router first to enable this ISDN connection. What is the switch type that the ISP is? We are connected to the switch, right? What is the switch type? So these were the switch type. Don't worry, it is not in your course. So if you're in Germany, your ISP had this switch type. If you are in US or Canada, your ISP was AT&T, you had this 2 number or this switch type, right? So it says 2 number switch type. Anyway, this is gone now because we are not configuring ISDN. So we have no BRI ports, okay? Or even serial ports for that matter. So now, okay, so ignore all this thing. Now let's take, it says, okay, do you want to configure this port? Yes or no? If you say yes, it asking you, would you like to configure IP on this? We said yes. It said by default no. We said no, yes. We want it, yes. Then it's asking us to provide some IP address. This is what we are typing, right? 10.1.33. And then enter, and then it will tell, okay, so this is class A. So it's suggesting a default subnet mask, but maybe we don't want this, and we'll say, no, we want this one, right? Something like this, because we are subnetting it. And then It is declaring that whatever IP address you have typed, it's a class A. It belongs to this is a major network IP address and 24 bits. That means this is a prefix mask, right? Okay. Okay. Yes. 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 You're right. Then serial port, we don't have it nowadays. Old slide. So then after that, it said, okay, this is what you have done, right? Finally, 012, 2 means save and exit. If you press enter, all these commands that we were giving, 1013, all these things, they were being saved where? In the RAM. Now, if you press 2, it will save in the NVRAM also, right? Now, if power goes out, we'll still get all the commands. Console port, RJ45 or USB, rollover cable, right? Here also in the laptop, you may have a USB today. Now, this is how we log into start the router and log in, right? We have a hyper terminal or putty or super putty, right? Whatever, some kind of a software, right? Through which we'll configure your device. So then the output is like this. Got it? We know user mode, enable. We know privilege mode, right? All these things. So if you don't know what to do, user mode, press a question mark. A to Z, it will display a lot of commands, many commands. More, you know what? Tab means break. Space means many more lines, 15, 20, whatever. And enter means one line by line, right? Output it will display. And this is a command. This is what it does. These are all commands. This is what it does. These are all commands. We may understand, we may not, but this is what it does, right? So description of the command. Okay. You can abbreviate a command to the fewest characters. So we don't type enable. If we just type E, it will give an error because it doesn't know which one are you talking about. So if we just type EN and enter, then also it will take you to the privilege mode or at least ask for a password. Got it? So, or after EN, if you just press tab key, it will complete the whole command for you. Then you can press enter. Likewise, privilege mode A to Z, more commands. Okay. Same thing. Question mark provides a list of commands and the arguments associated with a specific command. This is enable. Typing mistake. Look here, man, DJ. What are you typing? It is not ENBLE, it is ENABLE. Oh, look here. So this is also help, right? This is known as caret marker. It will automatically display this. Identifies problems with router commands that are incorrectly entered so that you can and this is up arrow, down arrow, right? Or control P, control N. Allows recall of long or complex commands for entry, re-entry, or review or correction. Okay. So see, EN, I'm deliberately perhaps. Okay. Okay, on the real router, it will. Okay, here, I think because I think here it's a software. So it thinks I have asked him to tell it into this device whose name is nbail, right? Whatever. So it is giving a DNS broadcast, but actually it will be like that. Okay. So now it will take some 15, 20 seconds, man. So if I give this command from the global mode, no IP domain lookup, we'll save this 20, 25 seconds. Got it? So otherwise on the real router, it will give EN, then caret marker, right? Something like this. Let's see. Where are we? Okay, so understood this. And this up arrow, down arrow, right? Command history. It will come up. Meanwhile, let's see, where are we? Okay, so clock. Look at this. I want to set the clock of the router. CLOK, right? We know what is the clock. What time is it? 9:27 p.m. Indian time, right? IST. So, and the spelling of the clock is CLOCK, but I typed here by mistake CLOK, right? So maybe we have, so look, again, it is giving this broadcast, right? Maybe we had given this command on this one, no IP domain dash lookup. So it will not eat away our 15, 20 seconds, right? Immediately it says unknown command or computer name or unable to find. Either this command is wrong or there's no device in the network whose host name is CLOK, or even if the device is there, it is shut down or whatever, so DNS is not able to tell me. Got it? Discard. So now look at this. So let me say enable and go to the next mode. CN configure terminal. So something like this. Look, I deliberately type CONFIGUR. It should be configured, but this character marker should have come here. Got it? In between N and I. This software, so don't worry, right? Something little bit differences will be there, but on the real router, it will be exactly what I'm telling you. Okay. So where am I? Now this is telling us how to take help from the iOS, right? Clock. So if I press enter here, my cursor will come here and it's telling me some, giving me some output here. Translating clock. So it's, this is a syslog message, right? It's trying to, it says, no, I don't have a DNS server. Or we don't have a device by this name, or I am not able to reach it, whatever, right? Perhaps we don't have a computer, this device by this name, and we don't have a DNS server also, whatever. Or the command is unknown. So then what do I do? I just press here, type here CL and without space clock. So it's telling me from the privilege mode, there are two commands which begin with CL, clear and clock. So I know which one now, clock. I press enter here. It says man incomplete. Of course, the command is correct, but you have to give after this something else. What do I give? So the moment I press enter, my cursor comes here, blinks here. So I'm at the privilege mode again. So now I type here clock and space question mark. Enter. So it says, man, there's one command after this set. What will it do? It will set the time and date for this router. So I press question mark. My cursor is blinking here. Right now I type again clock set enter. Again my cursor is blinking here. But it in between says, man, incomplete man. That means this is okay. But after that, you have to give something else. So what do I do? Either I type clock set here again, or I just press here up arrow or control P. So I'll automatically get clock set space cursor. I again press a question mark. It says now set the time in this format, right? Whatever time it is. So now what do I do? So I set the time here. Again enter. So my cursor is blinking here. It has come down. In between it says incomplete command output I got. Okay, so now what do I do? Up arrow. So my right this all this will come automatically instead of typing. So I'm saving my time. And I just press a question mark. So my cursor comes here and it gives this output in between. It says now in this format, set the date and set the month. So what do I do? My cursor is here. I don't have to type again clock set 19 colon 50. I'll just press up arrow. So till this point, it will come automatically. Now I just have to type 048, right? But when I press enter here, a caret marker comes here and my cursor is blinking here. So it says invalid input detected at the caret marker, right? So look, now I again press up arrow. I delete this 8. Instead of that, I just type August. So I get this all free of cost, but just by typing up arrow or control P, previous command, right? And then changing this from 8 to August because it doesn't understand 8. So I type 8. But when I press enter, my cursor comes here, but in between it says incomplete. So again, I'll press up arrow and now I press a question mark here, right? So it says now just type the year. Got it? So this is only telling us, this is prompting, hello, tell me question mark, right? This is syntax checking, right? Check the syntax. And this is command prompt. So something like this. Can we stop here, guys? Because I don't see any more time here. Where are we? 17th of the 24, slide number 6. So tomorrow will finish this and go ahead with IP addressing slides. Got it? So that will be a revision for IP addressing also. That is what actually I wanted to show you yesterday only. Yes, guys, all okay till this point, everybody? Neeraj,
So far,
Aditya, yeah,
so far,
okay, good. Kawaljit, Megha, everybody.
sir, just one question. Like clock has to be set in the router. I think now the clocks don't need to be set. For
Yeah, actually, I'll tell you how to set it in the real life. We don't set it like this. We'll do a lab for that. It is our We synchronize our time of the router and switches, all the devices from an NTP server, not like this. But of
Yeah,
course, you can
right,
do it
sir.
like this, right? But I'll show you
You
that
can
lab
just
also. So if you take a router, where's the router? Yeah, here in the, see, I just took a router, right? And it's now booting up. Okay. So the default time from the factory is something else, 1993. Got it? So we can set the clock, but in the real life, because we got hundreds of devices, so we actually are not going to do it like this. We will synchronize our time from an NTP server, network time protocol. Got it?
yeah, I do.
Yeah. So that live I will tell you later on. But for now, show clock. CLO, CK. So look, it is something else only. So we can set it manually like this, but better is to NTP server, which of course it will take some time.
Yes.
Give me some time and we'll do that lab. Of course, Cisco doesn't
Right.
has not mentioned in your topic also, but I'll tell you how to synchronize the time. Okay, from an NTP server. ठीक है.
Fine, sir. Fine.
Okay,
ठीक है,
great
sir.
guys. तो अगर कोई सवाल, any doubts, questions, please ask. Otherwise, we'll meet tomorrow. Good night. Goodbye. Thank you. Right? Any
Good night.
questions?